I'm doing the institutions and the regulatory framework. Okay, now please focus here. This is more important from your GS perspective. Minerals, the institutions, the regulatory setup, and the associated policies. Okay, the minerals, the institutions, the regulatory setup, and the policies. Now, some facts keep writing as I speak, please. First, here is that minerals are important sector. Minerals and mining are important sectors. So talking about the value, the employment, so approximately 2.3, 2.5% of our gross value added is from the minerals. This is also a highly regulated sector, and this is also a very important employment sector. Okay. And bulk of the employment here is the unskilled laborers. It is highly regulated. Very interestingly, it's like a difficult situation. It's regulated, but much is in the informal sector. Why? Because of the unskilled laborers, okay, lot of employment happens in the informal sector. It is not very well documented, even though it is regulated. And that's the irony of this sector. Okay? And because of which you also have lot of smuggling, you also have lot of illegal mining and the rest. So quickly, one short discussion here. Then the principal law that governs all mining is the MMDR 1957 Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act है ये MMDR Act 1957. This is the principal law where we cover all minerals except oil and gas. Oil and gas के लिए अलग laws हैं. Okay, oil and gas is not covered under the MMDR Act. That's one point. And second, MMDR Act, it does make reference to atomic minerals and also makes reference to minor minerals, but the details of atomic and minor minerals, these are also covered under separate acts and provisions. What I'm saying is MMDR is the principal act for all minerals except oil and gas. Oil and gas does not come under this act. For oil and gas, we have got different laws entirely. But under MMDR Act, we do have reference for atomic minerals. में लिखा है atomic minerals के बारे में लिखा है. It has mentioned minor. It defines minor minerals. But the acts and the provisions that govern atomic and minerals, the details are not in the MMDR Act. For atomic minerals, we have a separate Atomic Energy Act. We have a separate body called as Atomic Minerals Directorate. It's called as AMD. It operates under the Department of Atomic Energy. So atomic energy जो है, इसके लिए अलग से ही act है. And also the minor minerals, these are covered under state legislations. The states have full authority. They have the full power to make laws, have rules, have regulations to deal with the minor minerals. So MMDR Act, even if it is the principal act, it is not addressing all the details of mining for all the minerals. So the Atomic Energy Act alag se hai. We have a separate act for oil and gas. So this is an important conceptual fact that you have to know. Atomic energy alag se deal hota hai, and the institution that deals with atomic energy is Atomic Minerals Directorate. It's called as the AMD, Atomic Minerals Directorate, AMD, which operates under the Department of Atomic Energy. And the minor minerals, they are covered under the state legislation. That's why we typically say that there is a federal structure. Okay, if you look at the system, we say that mines and minerals are covered under India's federal structure. The center has primacy, called as rule number 54. Rule 54 के तहत the center can make any laws on any minerals. The center has the primacy, but the states also have jurisdiction over minerals. And Khaskar, it has exclusive jurisdiction over the minor minerals. And minor minerals kuch kam nahi hai. They make up a huge amount of the mining resources of India. Huge amount of mining output of India is minor minerals. In one of the sessions earlier on the YouTube, I have discussed what are minor minerals. I think this part of the conversation is clear with all of you. Like why mines and minerals are considered to be part of India's federal structure. So, the conceptual discussions, get the hang of it, you'll be fine thereafter. They're under the exclusive jurisdiction of the states. The minor minerals, they come under the states, the state governments, yes. Okay, now, next. Now, there have been two major amendments. Okay, recent developments mein kya hai? In recent developments, there have been two major amendments to this MMDR-1957. Just to give you a bit of a background, I hope you remember that one of the reasons why the UPA government was pulled down was because of the corruption charges. And corruption charges mein bahut important issue tha the coal mines and the coal scam. Of course, UPA too had a range of allegations against it. Okay, issues related to 2G spectrum and the coal and a lot of things there. So coal was a very important issue. Mining sector was consistently under a lot of scrutiny. The CAG and the Supreme Court find faults in it. So when the new government, NDA government comes into the power, this was a major area it tried to intervene. That's why after 2014, the major intervention was in the mining sector also. So two amendments were necessitated. One amendment was 2015 amendment and another one was 2016 amendment. 2015 is a bit more important amendment. In 15, 3-4 things happened. One is the 15th amendment mein ek important issue ye tha that for transparency in allocation of mining lease, auctioning was started. And they set up a trust called as National Minerals Exploration Trust, NMET, National Minerals Exploration Trust, for granting exploration rights for all non-coal minerals. This trust was financed from 2% levy, all mining license holders. So 15 mein kya change hua? To bring in transparency, what they did was they introduced the practice of auctioning and they set up the National Minerals Exploration Trust, which is called as NMET, for granting exploration rights for all non-coal minerals. So coal was guarded because we are fearing coal is going to be important for us. It was done for that. And the third thing that they did under 2015 amendment was they introduced or they started what's called as DMF. Okay, this was again a type of a trust. It was a type of a fund which was set up. Okay, it was more for a non-profit initiative, which was set up for helping and supporting people affected by mining, including displacements. So DMF was set up for supporting the people who were, and remember DMF, although it operates under the directives of the center, but the freedom to decide on the composition of DMF, this mineral fund जो है आपका, The states have the freedom to decide on the composition of this trust. Like who are the people who will be part of this trust. And for minor minerals, the states can decide the contributions to DMF. So how much of money will go? Because see, the DMF is like a fund which will be used for the welfare of people who are affected by mining. All those minerals which are major minerals iron ore, major minerals chromium, major minerals aluminium, major minerals, talk about all the minerals used in the steel industry. The center will decide what will be the contribution to DMF. The contribution is by the people who have the mining lease rights. They will contribute. But for minor minerals, who will decide? For the minor minerals, the states decide. The center does not decide. So DMF was one of those major initiatives that we had under the MMDR amendment of 2015. And one more point here, DMF jo hai, the DMF will implement Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Kalyan Yojana. And this also was launched in 2015. And this also is mainly for the welfare of people affected by mining in mining areas. It's like DMF is the fund, and DMF will use the funds of DMF are used by this program. Okay, this is the program. This is not a fund. Okay, so DMF funds are used by this program for the helping the people affected in the mining areas. And as of 2016, the last data that I have is, as of 2016, 263 districts of India in 12 mineral states have enacted DMF. Okay, so all of this as part of the 2015 amendment to MMDR Act. Okay, all of this part of the 2015 amendment to the MMDR Act. So this should suffice if you are asked some question on MMDR or some question on DMF. खासकर DMF में this should suffice. Since 2016, 263 districts in 12 mineral states have enacted DMF. Next is the 2016 amendment. इसमें बहुत बड़ा नहीं था. Essentially, it was about transfer of mining license other than those auctioned and those other than those auctioned. Now what I'm saying is, so imagine this is a mine. This mine can be given to somebody by auction, or the mine can be given as an allocation. Somebody applies to the government that I want to have some mines for whatever purpose. The government can make some scrutiny and allocate it. It's like an allocation. You are giving grants or concession. You are giving it. The auctioning, this has always been a bit tricky one. So 2015 MMDR Act, it encouraged auctioning. But a lot of mines were already given as allocation earlier. This amendment says that those which were allocated, this can be transferred to others also. Because I, as a government, I have given the mine to you because I think you are the best. But tomorrow maybe somebody else comes up with some other proposal. I have the authority to take the right from them and give somebody else. That's how I can transfer the mining license. But this is not applicable to those which have been auctioned. If I auction and I give it, then I cannot transfer the mining license rights. So this was one of the amendments, transfer of mining license other than those which were auctioned. One. And the second important one was that in 2016, private parties were also allowed exploration and mining for atomic minerals. Okay, so thorium, uranium, the private parties were also encouraged. And this was to encourage, okay, technology, encourage investments, encourage mineral-based industries, also help India's energy security. This was the idea. The private parties were allowed for exploring and mining the atomic minerals also. This was done in 2016 amendment. But very important, in 2019, November, December, we have again passed, okay, a resolution that disallows private sector in atomic minerals. We again consider the atomic minerals are strategic for us. These are strategic. Therefore, we are now excluding the private players again. So as a part of opening up, we encouraged it. As a part of opening up, we encouraged, let the private parties also have interest in atomic minerals mining. But we realized that we might be losing some of our strategic interests, because of which we decided that we'll disallow. So 2019 में ये फिर दोबारा disallow हो गया. 19 में atomic minerals mining has again been disallowed. It is back with what's called as atomic minerals currently can be mined and can be traded only by PSUs and straight trading enterprises. The present status है, ये latest change हुआ है. As of now, atomic minerals का mining and atomic minerals का trade. When I say trade, I mean both export and also import. Can only be done by state trading enterprises, STE. I hope you know PSU का नाम पता है आपको. I've discussed what is IRE. IRE will do that, and the trading is done by state trading enterprises. MMDR Act and what were the amendments 2015 में and amendments of 2016. Amendments of 2015 and amendments of 2016 for encouraging technology, for encouraging investments, for encouraging mineral-based industries, and for encouraging energy security, for encouraging technology into mining sector, for encouraging investments, for encouraging mineral-based industries, and for energy security. This was the intention why the private players were allowed in the atomic sector. But this was reversed. In 2019, this was reversed. Abhi, it is again disallowed. Let's move on now. Now, apart from these amendments, there are a couple of other acts and initiatives, okay? Other acts and provisions for minerals. So MMDR 1957 is the principal law with its amendment in 2015 and 16. Iske ilawa, we have another 2-3 provisions and acts. One is called as the Mineral Conservation and Development Rules. Year 2018 mein tha. This was to ensure that mining is not affected because of lease expiry. So when the lease, see, it is a long process. When the lease expires of a mine, the government must start off the whole process again. You have to auction again, give out the rights, and again ensure the compliance. So what happens is, expiry ke baad mein, if the government is not prompt enough, there can be a good gap when the mining again resumes. So they decided to pass a new rule that even if the lease has expired for some time, the mining can continue. Okay, details kya hai, I haven't bothered to look up that. But this was an important one in 2000. It's all part of current affairs eventually. So we have Minerals Conservation and Development Rules 2018. This is one. This is the second one. The third important one is Coal Mines Provision Act 2015 again. So 15 in many ways is the landmark for lot of mineral laws. And remember the background. The UPA losing power, 2014 NDA comes into power, And since then, how the things have changed. It allows for, इसमें क्या है? What are provisions? This is where auctioning was introduced. It allows for allocation of mines by auction. It allows non-restrictive trade, sale and use of coal. So the coal can be sold to anybody, you can import it, you can export it. So it is non-restrictive. That type of opening up the market, non-restrictive sale and use of coal. And third important is opening commercial mining, commercial coal mining for private sector. So see, I've specifically taken up some of those provisions which are landmark and can be part of your questions in your prelims and GS also. So apart from the MMDR, what all has been done in the mining sector? One is the Mineral Conservation Development Rules 2018 to ensure that the mining is not affected because of lease expiry. And the second is the Coal Mines, like Coal Mines Special Provision Act. This allows for allocation of mines by auction. इसके पहले allocations था and we could have corruptions in that. इसमें auctioning add किया आपने, non-restrictive sale and use of coal, and we opened up commercial coal mining for the private sector. And another important one was Parivesh. This is a single window clearance for environment related issues. So Parivesh, okay, got applied. This was applied for mining sector also. So the full form of Parivesh is a very interesting acronym that they have. I think उन्होंने पहले से they decided this word and then they had to fill in the word so that it looks smart. Okay, so our present government is very, very effective in this type of acronyms. So Parivesh is proactive and responsive facilitation by interactive and virtuous environment single window hub. Basically, ये जो नाम लिखा है ना, they're under pressure, I'm sure. Okay, the pressure that Parivesh is environment. So how do we have the right word so that the Parivesh makes some acronym sense now? And remember, Parivesh is not only for mining. It is in general, okay, a single window clearance for environmental issues. Okay, and this operates as part of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It's part of Digital India program. So Parivesh was also applied for mining. Okay, it's a fully automated process, okay, of submitting and tracking. So what Parivesh does is, it is a fully automated process for filing and for tracking environment clearance. So these are the 4 developments we have in the mining, or the 4 important provisions, acts and provisions in the mining sector. The MMDR Act, the Mineral Conservation and Development Rule, the Coal Mines Special Provision Act, and application of Parivesh to the mining sector. So what have I discussed? I've discussed the major provisions, what were the acts and what are the provisions. Now I'm discussing who are the regulating authorities in mining. Authorities kaun hai? Number 1 is, of course, remember the central government. Okay, and it operates through the Ministry of Mines. We also have the Ministry of Coal Resources. So we have the central government, which is one of the authorities. And the second is the state government. The state government, it has full power over the minor minerals. It can decide the composition of the DMF, the trust that we have, the fund that we have. Okay. The state government also has authority. The third body is IBM. Indian Bureau of Mines. Indian Bureau of Mines is the main regulating authority. Like it ensures the laws are properly applied. It ensures research and development and investments into research. It ensures the environmental compliances are done or not. Okay, so that way, this is one of the central authorities. इसके अलावा, of course, we have the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and this, of course, okay, does all the clearance through the Parivesh initiative. इसका भी authority है. And the fifth one is Directorate General of Mine Safety. So these five are the ones that ensure that all the laws and provisions, whatever we have, they are properly adhered to. So they are like regulating authorities. So we have got acts and we have regulating authorities. आपको बस नाम याद रखना है. Maybe know what the domain is quickly. Okay, know about IBM, that's an important one, and the rest. So I believe you shouldn't have any problem in these five. Now, apart from this, there was one more development in 2013. We call this as propriety rights. The development related to propriety rights. Basically, who owns the mines? Who has the final right? Now see, Constitution says that the state is the successor to mines and mining assets. But then in 2013, Supreme Court, okay, it passed a judgment and said that the right of the private land owner to own the subsoil and mineral and metals cannot be deprived other than by valid legal process. I want to understand what's happening here and why this is important, because this is a recent development. The Constitution says that the state is a successor to mines and mining assets. Okay, so if there's an unclaimed mine, maybe there is some kind of historical legacy of the state owning some mine, then state is the right. When I say state, I don't mean state government, I mean the state as in the country. Okay, I don't mean the state government as in federally. Uski baat nahi kar. The state is the successor. The state is the successor to all mines and mining assets. But this was an interesting development. In 2013, Supreme Court says the right of the private land owner to own the subsoil and the minerals and metals cannot be deprived other than by some valid legal process. Basically what this means is, for example, this land is owned by a person called A. And in this land, they discovered there is some oil. Supreme Court says that this land or this area is not automatically the ownership of the state. This oil and this resource belongs to the person called A. If there is some mine, some minerals, some metals found here, this actually belongs to a person called A. But yes, the state can pass a law, the state can initiate a legal process in which this man probably has to be given some compensation, and then the state can take it up. So by virtue of a place having some minerals, the person who owns that land will not be deprived of that land automatically. That's what this Supreme Court ruling means. But remember, this is still an evolving concept. This is not the last that we have heard. I'm sure there is more to come up here. Okay, this idea will keep on changing as more and more, okay, say legislations come in or some other laws are put up. This was the 2000 Supreme Court ruling. Apart from this, we have FDI policy 2017. इसके अंदर क्या हुआ है? Okay, now the government allows 100% FDI under the automatic route for all metals and non-metals, for coal mining, for lignite mining, okay, but coal and lignite एक FDI है, okay, coal and lignite only for captive consumption and not open sale and trade. Captive consumption means, for example, I have set up a steel plant and the steel plant requires a coal mine and the coal is used only by the steel plant. It's called as a captive mine. So that coal mine, I cannot mine the coal and sell to others. I can't export. So 100% FDI for coal and lignite, but only for captive consumption. So I own an aluminium smelter. I have a coal mine for aluminium smelting. In that, I can invite 100% FDI. This FDI is not for coal and lignite, for open sale and open trade. And 100% FDI also allowed for titanium bearing minerals. And remember, sale and export and import of beach sands and atomic minerals can be done by STE alone. So 2016 में allow कर दिया था, 19 में they reversed it. This is what we had to know. These are like multiple choice questions, okay? That FDI in the automatic route is allowed for what minerals? For all metals and non-metals except atomic minerals. All metals and non-metals, all coal and lignite for captive consumption, okay, and not for open sale and trade, and for titanium. Titanium is a very important component for lot of iron alloys. It's strong, it is lighter, aircraft industry में, space industry में use होता है. But we have allowed FDI in titanium bearing minerals. Okay, the institutional setup for mining. आपका syllabus में है STE means state trading enterprises. Okay, so 2019 it was reversed, but this is the FDI policy 2007. Okay, so somebody told me about 2020 ordinance. Okay, so maybe you will have to check on this. So some latest development hoga, MMDR ordinance. So that's the provisions. Now quickly, to end up the discussion, what are the issues in mining? So mining sector mein, okay, remember that rich resources hai. We are almost leaders in iron, in bauxite. We are the world's largest mining for mica, sheet mica, for chromium, even manganese and barytes. We also have good amount of rare earth. So this is an important point. India has rich resources. Then mining is important for make in India, and to reduce our import dependence. Okay, this is part of reducing our drain of foreign exchange. So India has rich resources. We are rich in iron, bauxite, mica, chromium, manganese, barytes. We also have a fair amount of rare earth. So we need to do something so that all of these resources are properly used. India needs to use the minerals for make in India. Okay, if we keep on importing, we lose our advantage here. So making. So it's all important point or what we need to develop and discuss in mining. Then we have mining related core sectors. If you know, there are 8 core sectors. 8 core sectors mein, okay, 4 of them are related to mining. Coal is core sector. Steel is core sector. Natural gas is also core sector. And oil and refining is also core sector. So in many ways, mining decides the performance of our core sector. Okay, so industrial performance index hai, index for industrial performance, it depends on the mining, coal, steel, natural gas, the relationship of mining with the core sectors. The next important point here is that this sector is labor intensive. Good number of them are unskilled laborers. Many of them are in the tribal belts. So ये जो local rights हैं, forest rights, employment issues, these have to be rationalized. And that's the reason why 2015 May, we started with DMF, and eventually we have Pradhan Mantri's Ganesh Kshetra Kalyan Yojana as a program. So next important point here is that India's mining sector, the mining sector, this is still not advanced. Not advanced in terms of technology, not advanced in terms of processing. We still have what we call as rat hole mining. जैसे आपका मेघालय में हुआ था, and we had that mine disaster. Like people died here. So this therefore is related to problems of mine safety. So issues related to industrial development, indigenization of industries, hai, labor development, hai. We have to talk about getting in technology, better processing methods, discourage rat hole mining. So somewhere this 100% FDI is a good step. Is a good step because it will bring technology and better mining practices into India's mining sector. So you could end the answer if you have as a part of a paragraph or conclusion में आप ये discussion add कर सकते हो. Okay, what are the issues in mining? Why is mining so important for us, and why we have to reform the sector and develop the sector as a frontline sector? So rich resources, hai, it's critical to part of make in India. In fact, it is also very critical to if mining can be less regulated, it will help us also in ease of doing business. It's also critical for pursuing ease of doing business. And these are important indicators of how much progressive an economy is. These are the 5 main bodies: the central government, the state government, Indian Bureau of Mines, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Parivesh, and Directorate General of Mine Safety. Chalo, thank you for being patient. Bye-bye. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.